That's your plan.
Okay, we are streaming.
Okay, we're live, and I have 4 o'clock.
And the screen. That's for you,
Yeah, look at that.
So cool. I don't even know where to look.
Are you situated, Don?
Yep.
All right, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order.
Please don't forget to turn your mics on.
Okay.
Everybody on? Your red light should be on. I can hear my feedback, so I know I'm on. So should we announce this future meeting, or I saw it's also on the agenda further down, so we just hold for that?
Yeah, wait till you.
Okay. We did have an executive session December 10th, 2025 to discuss potential real estate purchases. Anyone here for public comment? All right, we'll go to the approval of the meeting minutes of November 19th, 2025. Any additions or corrections to the minutes as distributed? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. Financial report.
Your cash position, oh goodness gracious. Your cash position sheet is in your packet. Sorry, it's out of order. You will see a slight decline in the actual total bank accounts number, but there is also an increase in the accounts receivable item for the city ARPA reimbursement. Is about $48,000, and that's part of the city's ARPA blight reimbursement acquisition ARPA grant that we have. I need to submit that paperwork yet, but that's the outstanding balance that they owe us now. The remaining balance of that after this will be about $240,000 left of the $550 to draw down. But generally everything else is relatively unchanged.
And this accounts receivable, I looked through it briefly. I mean, it should be pretty legit, right? I mean, like, there's not a lot that we may not get in there.
No, in fact, there's a couple that Don and I have been working on recently. Pastor Kearse on Prospect is almost ready to settle. We've been working with Mr. Buffington on South Pine. He is currently on vacation in Israel, but he wants to close by the end of the year. Mr. Garcia on Lincoln, Maple. He's ready to close. So this list will get much shorter come January, February.
And we're whole on, I think that's supposed to be 594, 596 West Princess.
596 West.
It's listed as sale of house.
That's the rental income. Yeah, that's an estimated rental income. We get that quarterly from the housing authority.
So there's nothing listed there, but you said that's not.
It's only listed there because it was there previously in the year. And yes, there actually should be something in there. I just deleted it.
And you said what, we get that quarterly?
Yes.
All right. Any questions, comments from the board? All right. Anything to discuss on CDBG balances?
No, we did get we got one snow invoice, and just FYI, every snow event costs about $2,400. And as the chair and I did discuss, and we did, I believe, authorize earlier this year, I am working on a package for putting our lawn care and snow removal and trash removal out to bid again, to get newer pricing, updated pricing from that.
Do we have an ETA when we'll have that?
January, I'll be honest, I'm not gonna do it.
And so, didn't we typically do that like in November?
Typically we did it in November.
So like, when was the contract actually running? Was it a calendar year or?
It was a calendar year with a 30 or 60 day notice to quit by either party. So yeah, it's a little bit flexible. But.
So if we do, so we'll be just altering the schedule we're on. We won't run a calendar year if we're doing, it'll just be like starting April 1.
It's not gonna snow this year anyway, it's fine.
All right. Statewide local share account grant application.
Yes, I believe in your packet there is a draft resolution. As a little bit of background, we have a 3 parcels under agreement, redevelopment agreement with York XL, in conjunction with with Skylar Yost, and they are working on a project called Neighborhoods Built by Neighbors. And if you recall, I was in Cincinnati right before Halloween. York XL and the RDA together were accepted into a program by an organization called Engine, NGIN. It's the New Growth Innovation Network. And this project was the catalyst for the entry into that project. So we have a grouping of nationwide cohorts where we are looking with groups from New Orleans, Stockton, California, Raleigh, North Carolina, St. Louis, Missouri, who are working on community development or economic development projects in neighborhoods. And the concept behind this Walnut Street property is the construction of two 2-unit townhomes with a center courtyard with 2 ADUs in the rear of the parcel that would potentially have storefronts and a courtyard in between all of it to create a community gathering space. So this would be a neighborhood hub or a third place, maybe a coffee shop, a craft store, whatever the neighborhood feels they need in that neighborhood. And the concept is to create projects like this that are actually owned by the neighbors. So and studies have shown that some of the most impoverished neighborhoods, the rents leave the community to go to out-of-state or out-of-town landlords. So the concept is, why not have the neighbors actually own the properties? So they could potentially buy in and be an owner of the property and then control who or how much money they receive, keep the money ultra local. It's a fascinating concept. It's been happening nationwide. Portland, I think Baltimore has one where old strip malls are being bought by the merchants or the store owners, so they control their destiny. They're not going to get evicted because they're an owner and actually owning their spot. So we're working with Engine and the New Growth Innovation Network with a series of cohorts around the nation who have done similar projects. Our focus, our track is on community engagement, not on community wealth building, which is their other track. So we're really focused on how do we engage the community, educate them, and have them understand how this project could potentially work. And part of that, and what would really help the project, is a grant to build it, obviously. So the York XL as a nonprofit is applying for statewide casino, it's called the Local Share Account, LSA grant. They're applying for statewide grant monies in the amount of $1.3 million, $1,309,872, which was a rough estimate of conceptual what the cost could be for this construction of 6 units on Walnut Street. So because it is a state grant, it needs a sponsor by an authority or a economic development agency. We qualify as the applicant on behalf of York XL. Questions? And this is a grant that we follow. This is a follow-up grant. I'm sorry, we have a grant now that was awarded earlier this year for $41,000 from the Category 4 LSA, which is the York casino money. They received $41,000, which helped them pay for the design work that developed the concept of the $1.3 million project.
All right. We did discuss extensively at project committee, and some other info was forwarded afterwards. Does anyone have anything else, any questions or anything else to add? All right. Anything else you wanted to add, Blanda?
No, I'm really excited about this. The experience in Cincinnati was great. We met a lot of people nationwide, literally nationwide, who are struggling with a lot of the same things we struggle with in York, engaging the communities, building neighborhood wealth. It was a really, learned a lot from other communities, and I taught them things that we were doing that they hadn't considered. Portable soccer. And so Stockton, California is doing portable soccer fields in the parking lots that are empty, which is kind of a neat idea. Like some of the, we're sharing ideas back and forth. It's a cool program, and we're engaged in that for a whole year.
How do they have a portable soccer field?
There's a company that makes like a roll, it comes in sections and bolts together, like clicks together, and you get, it's not a full-size field, but it's enough for kids to play. So there's like something like the size of Cherry Lane, you could put a little soccer field in there. It's, when in Stockton, people are going nuts over it. It's great.
All right.
Can I just ask a question?
go ahead.
What's their, like, next steps for community engagement? What do they have to do?
We actually have a meeting tomorrow, we're creating a PowerPoint presentation. I think there are 4 or 5 of us in the community engagement session, and there's these tried and true steps for how do you engage with neighbors. So we're all going to present our current neighborhood situation or a project, and then get feedback from everybody else, and then they're bringing in a facilitator who is this expert in community engagement to assist with best practices. Essentially, and probably one of the best quotes I heard, and this was actually from Montez Parker, said, "We will move forward at the speed of trust," which is actually very appropriate.
All right, anything else? All right, do we have a motion to request a statewide casino share account grant for York XL neighborhoods built by neighbors in the amount of $1,309,872?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. Parcel purchase 123 Northwest Street.
This briefly came up last month when we were talking about blighted properties. The owner at Grantley, 230 Grantley, Teslin Company. The owner, Mikey, is here in the audience as well. He and I had a brief discussion afterwards. Turns out he has a lot on Northwest Street that at one time did hold a property. And I'm sorry, I meant to pull up the graphic of it, but it is a vacant lot adjacent to other vacant lots. And it makes sense for us to own it. And he has offered to sell it to the RDA for $1,500. And I think it's a critical part that we should consider purchasing. We'll develop a deed and do a transfer from Teslin Company to the RDA, and we should be able to do it relatively quickly. It happens to be here, this vacant, there are actually 4 lots here, believe it or not. And Mikey owns this end corner one, right on the edge here. It's probably 14 feet wide from out into the alley.
Oh, I thought the other one that was owned was in the middle of ours.
No, it's on the end.
Okay. Because wasn't that the issue when our realtor had brought, he said that had some interest in these, and I thought he said that the one lot was not, at least our lots weren't contiguous. Was the
No,
reason
it
we
was,
did-
no.
So there's 4 lots. We own 2 of them?
We own 3 of the 4. This is the 4th.
Okay, so it's,
All right.
It doesn't look like mowing will be an issue.
And this is
Weed whacker maybe in the front there.
this is a place where people like to park.
Yeah.
Not for long. All right, any other questions from the board? Hearing none, is there a motion to purchase the vacant lot at 123 Northwest Street from Teslin Company for $1,500?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, give their consent by saying aye.
aye.
Opposed? So ordered. Is that all right if I move D up to C here, since it's the same, talking about the same piece of land?
If you wish.
Go on.
What, do you want to go ahead and just tee it up briefly, or?
Yeah, this is what I had just spoken about. This is amending the redevelopment agreement with, and that's what, I'm sorry, my abbreviation is RA. Amend the redevelopment agreement with Von Reimel from our resolution from August 20th to add this parcel to his redevelopment agreement.
So we're under agreement that he was gonna buy the other 3 from us, so we're just adding this one.
Correct.
So, all right, any questions?
Yeah, does that change, what he can do on it?
Greatly, yes,
So he can get more units?
yes. Because there were only 3 lots, and with the setback amounts, he was only gonna be able to build 2 homes. But now that he has the 4th lot, he's actually may be able to build 4 homes there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Great acquisition.
Any other questions? All right, do we have a motion to amend their redevelopment agreement with Von Reimel from RDA Resolution 5574 on August 20th of 2025 to add the parcel at 123 Northwest Street?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, give your consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So ordered. Children's Aid Society. I think we did discuss this at Project Committee also. Children's Aid Society is going to move into the first floor, the former Salem Library, Salem Square Library space that we have at 594, 595 West Princess.
And Google Street View has not been by for a while.
No, they
Wow.
haven't.
That's not been on for a long time.
I'm looking for the Gus's sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're looking to move in end of the month. Right now, the Salem Square Neighborhood Association is using that space, but we have some space in the back that we can shift them to. This is right around the corner from Children's Aid Society's new building. So it's very convenient for them. And they had a need arise for some additional space after they had their, everything done with their building. So this works very well for them. Anything, I know I handled most of their negotiation, Blanda, but anything you wanted to?
No, I think it's important to note, right now, we do cover the utilities. We cover the water and sewer for the entire building. There are 2 apartments up on the upper floors that are managed by the York Housing Authority. This was an income restricted project, and there's probably, I'm gonna guess, 8 to 12 years left in the compliance period. These are affordable rentals for 20 years based on the funding that created this project. So those are managed by the York Housing Authority. They are both full. We have good tenants upstairs. We have been covering the utilities for Salem Square Community Association, but Children's Aid Society is actually going to pay $600 a month for this space, which will help offset our cost of utilities for that space. And they have indicated that they're willing to share space with the community association, and so it will become, I think, a better community center with a regular tenant in there. And now we've got the extra, the back space there, as you can see along Southwest Street, this reddish space with the ramp. This was an area where the police were using sparsely as a drop-in center. It was essentially a place where the police could stop and go to the restroom quickly. But they don't use it that often, and they're fine with giving up that space. So we actually are this makes a lot of sense. This really becomes more of a community center of sorts.
And if the police want to co-use the space with the neighborhood association,
I think it would be great.
that would be great. Okay, any questions?
How often will they be there, Blanda? Like, will they utilize that space throughout the whole week? Like, they will continue to be there?
Yeah, apparently, and Mike can probably speak more to this than I, but their staff is in and out quite a bit. And this was kind of will be a hotel space for them to drop in, use and have events and meeting space, but still be close to their new center, which is a block away. So I think they'll use it on a pretty regular.
I think it'll be occupied Monday through Friday. Because like I said, there was something with the new building, some type of service or something that happened after the building was already designed that they didn't account for, which is why they need this additional space, despite the fact they just opened their new building. So, yeah, there should be somebody in there on a daily basis. Not like when we went in and the calendar was still in April, I think.
Yeah, the calendar says April right now in that building.
It's a great addition to the neighborhood. It helps to anchor that.
It's a nice partnership for us to have. Can never have enough community partners, so. Any other questions? All right, is there a motion to develop and enter into a lease for the first floor of 596 West Princess Street with Children's Aid Society?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So ordered. 2026 RDA meeting dates.
This is simply a resolution confirming that you wish to continue to meet on the third Wednesday of every month so that I can advertise it for the new year. I think everybody, this has been, you've been here longer than me. This has been the meeting time for a long time now.
For many years, which we don't want to go back to what it was before. That was 7 p.m. on Wednesday nights. So I, for one, am in favor of continuing our same meeting time and place. Everyone else agree?
Yep.
I would imagine Dylan and Teresa and Nate get a vote, right? Since they're our number 1, 2, and 3 fans.
That might be 100% of our fan base, but
Right.
take it. All right, do we have a motion to approve the third Wednesday of the month at 4 o'clock here in council chambers for our 2026 meetings?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So ordered. So does that take care of number 2, the announcing of the meetings as well?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, well, if it doesn't, our meetings will continue the third Wednesday of the month, 4 o'clock here in council chambers. All right, staff report.
Exciting news is that we just at 2 o'clock today received the bids for Penn Market. Based on the construction drawings, several addendums, and some extension of times. I believe we ended up with 88 different questions from contractors, which is always a good sign that they're really looking at the drawings hard. We received, in the general contractor category, we received 4 bids. Plumbing, we received 3 bids. Mechanical, we received 3 bids. And electrical, we received 4 bids. So that's a good field of bidders. The architect will obviously analyze all of these, look at what alternates we wish to choose, because there were 9 alternates just on the general contractor level. So we know what the price of things are. And this is things like whether or not we complete the community room or just frame it out. Whether or not we reinforce the parapet walls on the front facade of Market, which I think is pretty critical. Whether or not we build custom vendor stalls or we buy a prefabbed vendor stall. So we have that as 2 different alternates. And whether or not we cool the intake air for the hoods that are in Market as we replace the hoods. There's a price difference to cool the air coming in, but it also will serve to help to cool the building. And then the other one, we had 2 other alternates. One is if we just close on Tuesday, and one is if we close Market for 60 days, what would happen? And interestingly enough, in the general contractor bids, only one contractor gave a $5,000 credit if we closed for 2 months. It did not affect the pricing on any of the other bids. So that doesn't matter to the contractors, which is interesting to read. There's a lot of analysis that needs to be done on which alternates we wish to choose, and they will also research and review the backgrounds and the references and make sure these are all qualified, appropriate contractors. And I'm dancing around the issue, but yes, the bids came in higher than we have budgeted. Right now, I believe we have about $2.6 million available for construction, and our bids came in at about 6.9. 6.1 if we don't choose any of the fancy stuff or any of the alternates. So we've got a $3.5 to $4 million delta, which we were aware would happen. It's nice to have this in black and white now. It's back up, it's proof. Credit to our contractors who did a takeoff when this was at 55, 60% design, because they almost nailed it. The contractor that looked at it came in at 7.1 and this is 6.9. So that's proof that value engineering works or that they have a crystal ball that works. But it's not a shock, not a surprise. It gives us fuel to move forward to seek grant funding now that we've got actual bids, which includes shifting of RACP money. I did have a meeting with a historic tax credit consultant out there on Monday. She's sending me a proposal for getting historic tax credits, which could bring, now that we know that number, it could bring $1 million in historic tax credits. So we get, so now the heavy lifting begins on funding, but it's one step closer.
All right. Hope and Green?
Briefly, Hope and Green, great news. If you recall earlier this year, in meeting with Four Squares, the RDA had decided to take on the effort of the land development subdivision plan for Hope and Green. Last night at City Council, that was approved. So there is one step closer to meeting their long schedule of deploying $3 million in ARPA funding. I was made aware that apparently the mayor has also withdrawn that money from them. So I don't know where that project stands or any of the details about any of that. We were tasked with doing the land development subdivision plan and got it through Planning Commission, Zoning Hearing Board, and all the internal reviews and City Council approval last night. So we did our part. I think we have 20 subdivided lots with stormwater control and management. If in fact Foursquare departs without the $3 million, or there's alternate sources of funding for them or alternate sources for somebody else, you know, I think we're certainly open to it. It's important to note they're still under redevelopment agreement with us, and I have not had any communication with Foursquare in several months. So I'm hopeful they'll reach out to us and give us an update. Their redevelopment agreement does require an update every 6 months to the board on their progress. And I have not asked them for that either, to credit to them, but they haven't reached out and given us any updates as well. So I'm hopeful that we'll get an update on their progress and the status of their desire to continue with the redevelopment agreement or not. It does need modified now because it references 14 lots that in theory no longer exist. Now there's 20 lots.
All right. Anything further?
Just thank you for a great year. On a personal note, we started the January 15th meeting, happened to be the day that I sold my property across the street and my father died. And today in the December meeting, I just got an offer on my parents' house. So it's been a heck of a year, bookended by tragedy, but in between, we've done Heritage Crossings is built up under roof, dense ply land development subdivision plans and all that zoning's approved. Hope and Green Street's approved. We've done a lot of acquisition of blight, including the warehouse on South Sherman Street, and we continue to move forward, and I appreciate all your support. We've had a heck of a busy year, and only to get better. Just getting started.
Do you have something, Frank?
Yeah, back to Penn Market. So with the historic tax credits, the projected expenses already factor in prevailing wage, is that right?
Yes.
So making it historic tax credits only costs us the professional fees to obtain the tax credits for us.
Correct.
There's no additional construction expense because we do that.
Yep.
Okay. You indicated that you now are prepared to go to some grant sources because you've got a hard set of construction specs.
Yes.
With the associated costs to show them. And presently the deficit, $3.5 million, I think you said?
Roughly, yes.
Okay. Have you spoken to the foundations yet? Or does that come after the grants?
Foundations historically are the last ones in, but we did have some brief conversations with them a year and a half, 2 years ago. I'd like to restart those conversations. now that we have hard numbers. And I'd also like to have some time to sit down with the incoming administration as well, because I think there's a different attitude about Penn Market between current and future administration as well.
Well, sounds like your conversation was a while ago, but do you recall whether or not the foundations sensed the importance of this asset to the city? This was, a really important project.
I think they could be educated a little bit better. And Hannah and Mike and I have been meeting on a regular basis on how do we package the project and talk about the good that it is, so that we can create a one-pager of informational sheet to let people know about the neighborhood and the people.
How long do you think it will take you to nail down the availability of other grants? Because obviously you've got to research them, you've got to apply, you've got to wait and see. What kind of time frame until we know what kind of grants we're looking at?
Well, I actually had a conversation Thursday of last week with the Food Trust, who is managing the state's food investment grant. And I believe that's a $200,000 grant. And we had a really good, I think we're shortlisted. I can't guarantee that yet. They'll make their decision in March. And the biggest grant is, as we had talked internally about, shifting excess RACP money from the Northwest Triangle that's been awarded to the RDA to Penn Market. Penn Market's original RACP request was $3 million, and we were awarded 1.5. Now that we have hard numbers, we have backup to say, hey, we weren't far off with that $3 million request, and we need another $1.5 to $2.5 million in RACP funding that we can shift away from another project and make sure that it doesn't die or leave York. So this is great backup information now to go after and shift that RACP money.
And to reappropriate that RACP grant to Penn Market.
Correct.
We need the approval of Harrisburg University.
Correct.
And is that it?
Office of Budget.
In the state?
Yeah, the state.
Okay.
Yeah. And our consultants, in discussions with our RACP consultants, they're on board as well. They think that makes sense. Rather than letting a RACP grant, quote unquote, die on the vine, let's use it to a project that already is, literally shovel ready.
It makes sense for us to reconnect with them.
Very much so. Yes.
Yeah, they've had a tumultuous year as well, 2025 for Harrisburg University. They've had a lot of changes.
Yes.
Who's your direct contact there regarding this?
Ryan Riley, the vice president.
When's the last time you spoke to him?
A month ago.
Okay, well, so how long do you think it might take to kind of nail down Harrisburg University as to what they will agree to so we can submit that request to the state?
I have the framework of a draft letter. I was waiting to get this information, so I have backup for it. My goal is to get that out hopefully next week, at least in a draft email format to both our RACP consultant and to Harrisburg University. It will be a joint letter from the RDA and HU to the Office of Budget requesting this shift, because they would like to continue to have their money, but do it at a different location than North Beaver Street. So that is also part of the request as well. And I have identified line items, not to get too far into the weeds, but the RACP awards are based on a specific legislative line item. And the current one for the $6 million is for, specifically legislatively says, the Northwest Triangle. We all know that Penn Market is not in the Northwest Triangle, nor is the location where they wish to build their greenhouse. So the best administrative way to do that, because you can't legislatively change it, is to find another RACP line item that is there. And there are line items that say renovation of a historic farmer's market or creation of agricultural education centers. So we can convince the Office of Budget to reallocate from Northwest Triangle legislatively to farmer's market restoration legislatively. Then there's it's legally, legal helps, but it's also simpler to identify those line items in advance for them.
And our consultant has done this before?
Yes. Yes.
So we think there's a pretty good chance of success, as long as Harrisburg University's in agreement.
That's always an unknown, depending on staffing and, you know, the decision makers, but I think we can present a good case why it's important.
So what kind of timing are we looking at?
That I can't answer that. It could be weeks, months, you don't know.
So 2025, second quarter?
26, but yes.
Sorry, right.
Yeah.
I think we're lucky if we get a second quarter.
Well, I mean, just at least get it submitted.
Oh, absolutely.
Submitted, yeah.
So between the additional, you know, when we talk about a $3.5 million shortfall, call it $4, between additional RACP funding and historic tax credits and potentially foundations, I think we have an opening. We can make this happen. If we wished, you know, the total cost of the community room comes out to about $300,000. We could delay that to a future sponsorship opportunity for someone who wanted to contribute. And I'll say this out loud and not mean it, but it could be the Wellspan Community Center or the UPMC Community Center or the Frank Countess Community Center, and we could have someone provide that amount to build that.
There's a nice ring to it.
I like the Frank's Theaters.
All right, anybody have anything else? Anything for the good of the order?
I do have one thing for the good of the order. Way to go, Grandpa Joe's.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I was there Saturday, very excited. I found bottle caps, which I haven't found anywhere in York County in a long time. They have ice cream. I read it's Beck's ice cream, so
heard.
you know
I
it's
know
gonna
that's
be
huge.
okay. I didn't try any yet.
Your counties are swooning.
But that's an awesome tenant for downtown York tourists, you know, visitors.
Yeah.
It's an easy walk from Central Market, which is what we did.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
What's
they're
that?
Yeah, their hours are great.
The lights are on.
Yeah.
7 days a week.
Yeah, but it was great to see the line outside. When it was, yeah, that was nice. Yeah.
Well, their timing of their opening's good. They'll have some sales for the next couple weeks. I guess Valentine's Day too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Anything else for the good of the order? Meeting adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for the water, Blanda.
You're welcome.
You have to finish that before we leave.
Yeah, you better finish.